Alright, let's try this again. Hey everybody, what's going on? It's Preston here from Bull City Reader, and welcome to this week's video. Let's try recording this bad boy again. I just recorded this whole video and didn't have my microphone on. So, as I told you in my last video, I'd probably have a new background, and I do. We are in the process of turning the office that I was using into the baby's room. So this is the new bookcases that we got put up this past weekend. We're still working on filling the shelves out and deciding what books we're going to be getting rid of, but that's not why you're here. You're here to see what books I got in January. So without further ado, let's jump into it. I'm going to try to keep this short. My goal is under 12 minutes. I doubt it, but let's jump into it. So first up is going to be a series. It's called the Wounded Kingdom series by R.J. Barker. Book 1 is called Age of Assassins. Book 2 is Blood of Assassins. Book 3 is King of Assassins. I'm going to jump more into these books in a review. I just finished reading this one about a week or so ago. I'm going to be having a review, but it's going to be slightly different than my other ones. You'll see what I mean when I release that review. But the series follows our main character, Girton Clubfoot, and as you can guess, he has a disability. He's got a clubfoot, and he is the apprentice to an assassin. Each 3 of these books take place in a different time in his life. Book 1, he is a teenager. Book 2 is a few years later, and Book 3 is a few years past that. In Book 1, as you can see up here at the top of the book, it says, to catch an assassin, use an assassin. Girton's master gets called to the castle. The queen feels that someone is plotting to kill her son. So as it says, to catch an assassin, use an assassin. They are brought in to try to figure out who is trying to assassinate her son. And that's what this book revolves around, and the other books involve, from what I understand, characters that you love and introduce new characters. So anyway, Age of Assassins and The Wounded Kingdom by R.J. Barker. So the next series is going to be a fantasy series as well. It is called the Faithful and the Fallen series. I've heard some good stuff about it, plus I like the covers, and I would like to read more fantasy this year. So book 1 is called Malice. Book 2 is called Valor. Book 3 is called Ruin. Book 4 is called Wrath. I'm going to read you the synopsis off of the back of Book 1. That should kind of give you a good idea what Book 1 is about and hopefully the series is about. The world is broken. Corbin wants nothing more than to be a warrior under King Brennan's rule, to protect and serve. But that day will come all too soon, and the price he pays will be in blood. Evnus has sacrificed, too much it seems. But what he wants, the power to rule, will soon be in his grasp, and nothing will stop him once he has started on his path. Veridus is the newest member of the war band for the High Prince Nathar. He is one of the most skilled swordsmen to come out of his homeland, yet he is always under the shadow of his older brother. Nathar has ideas and a lot of plans. Many of them do not involve his father, the High King Aquilus, nor does he agree with his father's idea to summon his fellow kings to council. The Banished Lands has a violent past where armies of men and giants clashed in battle, but now the giants stir anew, stones weep blood, and there are sightings of giant worms. Those who can still read the signs see a threat far greater than the ancient wars. For the Black Sun gains ascendancy. Mankind's hope and dreams will fall to dust, and it can never be made whole again. So that is the Faithful and the Fallen series by John Gwynne. Next up is another series called the Books of Babel series. The first book is called Sinlin Ascends. Book 2 is Arm of the Sphinx. And Book 3 is The Hod King. These books are by Josiah Bancroft, and from my understanding, he actually put these out. He self-published, I'm not sure how many of the stories first, and then it got picked up. But let me read you what Book 1's about so you can get an idea of what the series is about. Mild-mannered headmaster Thomas Sinlin prefers his adventures to be safely contained within the pages of a book. So when he loses his new bride shortly after embarking on the honeymoon of their dreams, he is ill-prepared for the trouble that follows. To find her, Sinlin must enter the Tower of Babel, a world of geniuses and tyrants, of luxury and menace, of unusual animals and mysterious machines. He must endure betrayal, assassination attempts, and the illusions of the tower. And if he hopes to see his wife again, he will have to do more than just survive. This quiet man of letters must become a man of action. I've heard a lot of great things about this book, so it's a series I can't wait to jump into. It's going to be a 4-book series, and book 3 just came out, so I'm guessing book 4 will come out next year. But anyway, that's the Books of Babel by Josiah Bancroft. The next book, I clearly picked up this book for the cover. Honestly, the cover is what stopped me. I was going from the YA sci-fi fantasy section to the adult sci-fi fantasy section, and I saw The Circle of Shadow by Evelyn Skye. I thought the cover was just awesome. It really grabbed my attention. And the story sounds pretty good itself. It says, Sora can move as silently as a ghost and hurl throwing stars with lethal accuracy. Her Geminia, Damien, can win any physical fight blindfolded and with an arm tied behind his back. They are apprentice warriors of the Society of Tygus, marked by the gods to be trained in magic and the fighting arts to protect the kingdom of Kichona. As their graduation approaches, Sora and Damien look forward to proving themselves worthy of belonging to the elite group. But in a kingdom free of violence since the Blood Rift Rebellion many years ago, it's been difficult to make their mark. So when Sora and Damien encounter a strange camp of mysterious soldiers while on a standard scouting mission, they decide the only thing to do to help their kingdom is to infiltrate the group. Taking this risk will change Sora's life forever and lead her on a mission of deception that may fool everyone she's ever loved. Love, spies, and adventure abound as Sora and Damien unravel a complex web of magic and secrets that might tear them and their entire kingdom apart. So that is Circle of Shadows by Evelyn Skye. So the next book is really short. It's probably technically a novella. The book only clocks in at like 192 pages or something. It's very small, but it's called Vigilance by Robert Jackson Bennett. Robert Jackson Bennett is probably more known for his latest novel that came out before this, called Foundry Side. He decided, I guess, to take a break in between writing book 1 and 2 or writing the series, and he decided to put this book out. This is a satire from what I understand, but it's gotten really good reviews and the book sounds interesting, so I picked it up. It says, The United States 2030. John McDean executive produces Vigilance, a reality game show designed to make sure American citizens stay alert to foreign and domestic threats. Shooters are introduced into a game environment and the survivors get a cash prize. The TV viewers are not the only ones watching though, and McDean soon finds out what it's like to be on the other side of the camera. This is put out by Tor, and like I said, it's supposed to be a satire, but I think it sounds interesting, so I picked it up. So Vigilance by Robert Jackson Bennett. So next up is a book that came out in November, but I just picked it up in January. It is called Skyward by Brandon Sanderson. This is a brand new series by him, and I do not believe it is tied to any of his other series that he has out there. This is a YA science fiction book, and I've heard a lot of really good things about it. Everybody seems to really enjoy it, but let's see if it's something you might enjoy. Spence's world has been under attack for decades. Now pilots are the heroes of what's left of the human race, and becoming one has always been Spence's dream. Since she was a little girl, she has imagined soaring skyward and proving her bravery, but her fate is intertwined with her father's, a pilot himself who was killed years ago when he abruptly deserted his team, leaving Spencer the daughter of a coward. Her chances of attending flight school slim to none. No one will let Spencer forget what her father did, yet fate works in mysterious ways. Flight school might be a long shot, but she is determined to fly, and an accidental discovery in a long-forgotten cavern might just prove her with a way to claim the stars. So like I said, I've heard a lot of really good stuff about it, and it's Brandon Sanderson. He always writes great stories and draws you in. So Skyward by Brandon Sanderson. So the rest of these books are books that are books in a series and they're not book one, so I'm not going to dive too much into them just because there's other books out in the series and I've already had them and I've probably mentioned them in previous videos. So first up is The Winter Witch by Katherine Arden. This is the third and final book in the Winter Night trilogy. The other two books are The Bear and the Nightingale and The Girl in the Tower. This is a fantasy book set in Russia, and I believe it has Russian fairy tales in it as well. Book one sounds real interesting, and so I just picked up the rest of the series as well when they've come out, so I just haven't read them yet. So the Winter of the Witch by Katherine Arden. Next up is Undying by Amie Kaufman and Meagan Spooner. This is the book that follows on Earth. I believe this is the second book and final book. It's going to be a duology, but don't quote me on that. I could be wrong, but I thought I heard somewhere it's only going to be a duology. So this is a YA science fiction book, and it involves aliens and there were signals sent out or something like that. The synopsis for book one grabbed me when it came out, and I kind of waited until book two was going to come out before I was going to start reading it. So this is book two, Undying. And the final book that I got this month is The Kingdom of Copper by S.A. I'm going to murder her last name, I'm sorry. Chakraborty. This is the follow-up to The City of Brass. They both have beautiful covers, so I had to get them. I've heard great stuff about the series. So this is the second book, and I believe it's going to be a trilogy. So since this just came out, book three is probably not coming out until next year at earliest, I would bet. But I had to pick it up. It sounds great, and I've heard a lot of good stuff about the series as well. So anyway, guys, those are the books that I picked up. Those are the physical books that I picked up in January 2019. I did pick up a few ebooks since I got a Kindle, but I might show those in a video a little bit later on. I do want to keep this video kind of short. Hopefully it's one of the shorter ones I've done. But I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know if you've read any of those books or if you plan on reading any of those books. Comment down below and let me know. And tell me what books you got in January or what book you bought in January that you're most excited to get to. But anyway, guys, thank you for watching. Subscribe right here. YouTube says you're going to like this video, and supposedly it's on my channel. But that's all I got for you today. Anyway, guys, keep reading, and I will see you in the next video. Goodbye, peoples.